now through 7 of the 8 weeks of the high school football regular season here in Alaska, and the playoffs are taking shape. But the 1 seed in Division I still up for grabs. South Anchorage with a chance to grab it from West, but to do that, they needed a win yesterday. Wolverines invading Dimond High School to take on the Lynx. Home fans packing the rainy house, hoping to see the first home win of the season. But spoiler alert, this one was all South, already up big in the second quarter. Running their classic motion-heavy ground game, Austin French with some motion into the end zone. And that lead would only continue to grow now in the second half, fooling the defense, fooling me behind the camera. There's Timothy Edmondson making sure no one is fooled as to who is on top this afternoon. South taking a reigning one, running away to keep themselves in the running, the number 1 seed in D1. And now you know the drill. It's score time. Bartlett, of course, ending the undefeated season for West in a wild one on Friday. Well, Service barely survives East to lock up a home playoff game in round 1 for the Cougars. And down southeast, Juneau dispatches Colony. And in Division II, Soldotna survives an early deficit to beat Lathrop and lock down the number 1 seed. Palmer also clinching their spot at number 2. And there's a potential 3-way tie scenario for North Pole, West Valley, and Eagle River that could make the postseason picture a bit interesting. Check out our website for more on that. And the West Barrow clinches the top seed in D3, a huge success of a season for the Whalers, and playoff football returning to the shores of the Arctic for the 2nd straight year. Seward and Monroe Catholic with a couple big wins in 9-man. They play each other next week with the 2 seed down there on the line. All right, I mentioned Palmer getting the 2 seed on Friday, but that wasn't the only thing that happened up at Montcatons Field. We're used to seeing everything from touchdowns and penalty kicks. On Friday, though, we saw something a little different. Tyler Lane reports from the Valley.
Doesn't seem like 30 years ago, does it, guys?
3 decades after Palmer football last earned a championship ring,
1, 2, 3, more!
Another, to the shock of everyone, was about to be handed out.
It's been a couple months in the making. Got a lot of people in on it, so that was the challenge, but it was definitely difficult, but we got it done.
Senior Chandler Coman, a standout lineman at Palmer High School, not talking about the win over Chugiak or even playing on senior night. In fact, I'm sure people are impressed he stayed focused on the game at all, considering what he had planned after.
Okay, go ahead and flex real quick. Okay. Huh? Layla, look at us. I'm gonna check the lighting again. Look at me. Flex for her real quick. Flex, 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 flex. Hey, Layla, can you check his uniform?
Layla, Megan Buzzer, these last 3 years have been absolutely wonderful, and I've loved every second of it. And I would like to continue that journey with you. Will you marry me?
No idea. It's definitely a big surprise. I was a little weirded out when I'm like, why is there so many people?
I was gonna say, I thought I'm right there with the camera.
Well, I saw you with the camera. I'm like, that's interesting, but it's senior night. Who knows?
Actually, Layla, a few people did.
Wait.
Your mom and dad both know.
Earlier this summer, he called me and he says, "Dad, if I'm going to ask her dad permission to marry her, what kind of things do I say?" And we had a conversation. I said, "Well, let me ask you one thing. If he says no, are you still going to marry her?" He says, "Maybe." I said, "Then you better not ask permission. You better ask for his blessing." And once he had the answer, he put all the work in planning it, had people fly in, photographer. Obviously, you saw the school was involved, so he put a lot of work into it and kept it pretty secret.
Of course, after a couple hours in the trenches and the months of planning that went into this, it seems the honeymoon, along with any wedding plans, are getting a brief rain check. How are you guys celebrating?
That's a good question.
We'll be celebrating tomorrow. I'm going to go home and sleep. That was a hard-fought game.
Yeah.
Okay, you can have that!
Tyler Lane, Alaska's news source.